What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tiara Moore, and no, I'm not coming to be in your business, but I definitely wanted to drop in and check in and just give you guys a life update and just to encourage you guys. Y'all already know how I do when it comes to my inhale and exhale people, okay? Thank you guys for subscribing to Push the Purpose YouTube channel, which will soon be a podcast. Thank you guys for just, tuning in, subscribing, viewing, commenting, sharing, all of the above, liking. I wholeheartedly appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. So I have been completely AWOL, y'all. I have been completely AWOL from just social media, from my YouTube channel, just from everything because of how rapid life is progressing and moving for me. When I tell you there have been so many drastic changes in the last month and a half, it's mind-boggling how quickly seasons change for you. I wanted to talk to you guys about specifically friendship. That's one of the biggest things that the Lord is dealing with me on, in who to befriend, how to befriend, and in which capacity I can befriend. Y'all, it's big. Who you are connected to, it matters. It's a lot that goes into that. It's really a lot that goes into that. But I wanted to encourage you guys because what I've learned in these past few weeks is that you have the capacity to be friends to people, but people don't have the capacity to be a friend to you. And that doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you are malfunctioning. It doesn't mean that you have a deficiency. What that means is God did not give them the capacity to handle you in your totality. And that is the reason why it's hard for you to keep friends. It's hard for you to connect with people. It's hard for you to sustain those friendships. And the older I get, the more mature I get, I'm more so realizing that perspective and understanding who you are matters when it comes to friendship. Who you are connecting to, who you call sis, who you call bro, who's in your inner circle, who knows things about you, who can handle your humanity. All of that stuff matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. You're human, but you also are spirit. And some people can handle the spiritual side of you, but they cannot handle your humanity. And what I've learned and what I've witnessed and what I've experienced in friendship is that not everybody can handle the human side of me, but there are people that can handle the spiritual side or hold me to a certain standard as if I'm not human still too. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fall short. That's just the way it goes, okay? I just really wanted to encourage you guys to use discernment when choosing your friends, to make sure that you ask God, in what capacity am I meant to deal with them? And then in what capacity are they meant to deal with me? Because that matters. And really just seeking his face. And not being hasty in choosing friends just because you're lonely or just because you're bored or just because you want people to hang out with. That's all fine and dandy. But who you choose, that matters. It got to the point to where I went through this seesaw season with a friend. And it was every couple of months, every 6 to 8, maybe a year. It was always something that happened in the friendship. And I was just Lord, why does this keep happening? Why do we keep going through, these seesawy moments? And it's not we were detrimental to one another, because I believe that we helped one another. But in the same token, it was we both expected different things from each other. And we got to be careful with that whole expectancy or, I'm expecting you to do this, especially when it's not vocalized. Because if you say, I'm just expecting you to be a friend that shows up, that listens, that doesn't judge me, that loves me, and you get that, just that, you can't be upset because those are the things that you said that you expected or required as a friend. You can't expect things from people that have not been clearly defined or clearly vocalized. You have to vocalize what you want out of any type of relationship. if you ask me. You get what I'm saying? I believe that communication and relationship is very important, and it allows relationship to progress when you are able to have healthy, mature, adult conversations with one another, and not to rebuttal, but to hear what the other party is saying and to understand from their point of view. Because truth be told, when you're in relationship with people, rather platonic, romantic, whatever, business partnership, when you're in relationship with people, you're not trying to get them to understand you. What you are doing is you're stepping into their shoes to understand from their point of view. And as I mature, that's what I'm learning. So back to my story. Had this situation where, a friend was just high, low, seesawy, and things would just happen like every few months. Things would be good, and then they just weren't. And then we would just stop talking. I'm like, Lord, why does this keep happening? And when the Lord broke it down to me, he was like, when in relationship with people, you have to understand that people do not receive or perceive on your level of perceiving or receiving. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you mean? And he broke it down even further. If I'm giving information, or if I'm telling a friend something, they may have, because of the way that their mind is set up, they may have a different point of view of what I'm telling them outside of the point of view that I'm trying to give them. I really hope that makes sense. So I'm giving them information in one way, but because their mindset is set up in a different way, they're receiving what I'm saying in a different manner than what I was trying to give it to them in. I'm just like, okay, Lord. And then if you think about your spiritual relationship and your relationship with the Lord, when you start to think about, the things that you go through, and, how you try to get more spiritually connected, you read your word, you pray, and this, that, and the third, when God is telling you, let's say in a season of not yet, or yield, or stop, you get what I'm saying, or hold off, we perceive that as in God saying, no, not ever. But really God is just saying, not now, not in the moment. So do you see how people that you are in relationship with can perceive what you're giving or what you're saying in a different manner based on how their mental capacity and their mental mindset is set up? So when the Lord broke that down to me, I'm just like, okay, so now, as I'm learning and as I'm on this healing journey, and as I'm, thinking about why I'm connected to people and who I'm connected to and what purpose does this person serve in my life, I'm looking at it from and I hate to say it like this because I don't want people to think oh, you're just looking for people that, can benefit you. But no, it's the reciprocation. It's the dialogue. It's the back and forth. I give you something, you should give me something. If I'm connected to you, we should both be pushing each other in the direction of growth. Anytime that you are connected to somebody that's pulling you back from what you were supposed to be doing, that's a distraction. That's not really and in a sense you can look at it as in a liability. They're not an asset to your life. They do not add anything to your life. But at this point, they are a liability. When you accumulate assets, that means that you hold something of substance. You have something that is worth the extra insurance. It's an asset to my life. You do not want friends around you that are liabilities, but you want friends that can be assets and that can add to you, that can add to where God has called you to be, that can add to where destiny has predestined you to be. You want those people that can push you into purpose. You want those people that will tell you when you're wrong, because truth be told, love corrects. And another thing I had to learn in this one friendship is that even though I may not agree with what you're saying in the moment, I'm still able to listen to try to understand, right? And then maybe, just maybe, in time, after I've thought about it and processed from your point of view, now I can receive what you're saying because I know that it was coming from a place of love. I know that it wasn't coming from a place of you're this and you're that and judgment. You get what I'm saying? In just confusion and chaos and just, oh, you're intentionally trying to hurt me. I know now that it's coming from a place of love. So now I'm able to receive from your point of view because I know that it was not an attack, but it was for you to correct what you seen that I didn't see in the moment because I was looking from my own lens, from my own point of view. Yeah. Friendship and who you connect to, y'all, it matters. Who you call friend, best friend, sis, home girl, that's my ace, boom, coon, you know, whatever y'all say in this era, okay, in this generation, whatever you say about the person, you know, that's my ride or die, whatever it is that you call this person, you get what I'm saying? You have to make sure that you're connected to them for one, the right reason, and that you guys are connected for purpose, and that it's just not a meaningless connection. Oh, I'm just connected to them because of whatever, you know, like, oh, that's just my friend because we like the same clothing brand. Like, there's no substance in that. And what I'm learning as I get older, what I'm learning in these 26 years of life, thank the Lord for seeing 26. I'm grateful. I just celebrated a birthday like a month ago, so I'm super duper excited about that. I don't think that I've made a video since then. But what I've learned in my 26 years of living is that your perception and how you perceive things, it matters when you're receiving information, or when you're connecting to somebody new, or when you are, you know, welcoming people into your space, and or people are welcoming, excuse me, that was so bad. Yo, don't mind me. But and or when people are welcoming you into their space, like, you have to be mindful that perception matters when you are receiving. It matters. It matters. And in adulthood, you realize that friendships aren't just friendships. Like, they aren't just meaningless anymore. Right now, it's like God is kind of like shifting me from just saying, oh, that's my friend, to like, no, like, we're destined for purpose. Like, this is a life partner friendship. Like, we're literally connected, so that way we can help one another reach that destiny, reach that purpose, reach that God ordained, you know, time in our lives. And I'm not saying that that's where you have arrived, but that's where God sees you. Right now you're here and God sees you here, but you can't get here without help. Like, God didn't intend for us to just be out here just willy-nilly by ourselves, isolated, depressed, you know, lonely. No. Friendships have purpose too. Friendships can help you push and can help you get to where you need to be, if you're choosing the right friends, if you're choosing those right covenant connections, if you are connected to people who are destined for purpose and don't want to see you stuck in pain. That's good to me. If you are connected to people that want to push you, help push you to purpose, and don't want to see you stuck in pain. Those are the type of people I want around me. Those are the type of people that I need around me. Like, those people that know the good, the bad, and the ugly and stay. It matters. Those people who know your highs, your lows, your darkest, deepest moments, and they stay and still love you and still correct you and still see you in that, where God sees you. Like, still sees you in that light. But don't hold you back here to where you currently are, or to the past of things that you did previously. Like, give me those friends, give me those covenant connections. But I'm not able to receive those friends and those godly covenant connections until I clean me up first. It took for me to see me, for me to be able to really open up and connect and be a true, real friend. I don't care what anybody says. Hear me and hear me clear. I don't care what anybody says. Everything is contingent. Hear me and hear me clear. Everything is contingent upon you. Your friendships, they're a reflection of you. Your relationships and who you choose as a partner, it's a reflection of you. Family, trauma, hurt, pain, deception, lies, your past, your present. It all shapes you into who you are present time. It all shapes you. It all plays a part. But the thing is, if you allow it to shape you into a distorted image of who God created you to be, you're coming up against the authentication and the true identity of who he created Tiara to be, of who he created you to be. When you fight against change, when you fight against the molding and the crushing and the pruning, when you fight against that, you're fighting against the authentication that was placed into you way before you were placed into your mother's womb. The identity that was placed into you way before you were placed into your mother's womb. God said that he knew you. He knew you. He's one person that knows ourselves, like he knows us better than we know ourselves. Why would you fight against the creator, the person who created you, the one who created you to be exactly who he predestined you to be? Why fight against it? Like friendship, when picking, relationship, when choosing, jobs, all of that stuff, it shapes. Life experiences, like I said, life experiences, they shape you into who you are. So when choosing your friends, your relationships, even jobs, to a certain extent, when you make choices in life, they're contingent upon your experiences, rather good experiences or bad experiences. They have shaped and molded your mindset into making decisions based on what you've gone through or what you've seen or what you have witnessed. Like, when choosing your friends, when choosing your relationships, when choosing people that are purposed for life, when choosing people who have purpose for your life, you have to make sure that you, one, consult God, two, that you are ready and prepared to receive what you're asking or praying to God for. And then three, you have to make sure that you've done the self-work on yourself. Because in order to be a friend, you have to first, in order to receive a friend, you have to first be a friend. People are not going to deem you as friendly if you're rude, nasty, you're a liar, you can't hold water. I mean, telephone, baby. Nobody wants to be around anybody like that. So, just dropping this nugget on you guys today. If y'all didn't hear anything that I said today, make sure that you are doing the work on yourself. Make sure that you are preparing yourself. You're going through that self-preparation process with God, you and God. So that way the things that you have prayed for, when they come, because they are coming, that you are in a position and that you are postured and that you are in place to receive what you have prayed for. Make sure that you are in position, in place, and in a posture to receive what you have prayed for. Like, God wants to bless us. God hears the desires of our hearts. God knows, that you are sick and tired of being lonely and you want friends and you want to be able to go out and have godly fun, pure fun. Like, God hears all of that. God knows that you want a sister circle. God knows that you want a men's circle. God knows that you just want people to fellowship with, that understand, that can help you, that may have information, that can help push you, that you may have information for them that can help push them. Like, we are meant to be connected to people, and God knows your desires. He hears your heart. But we also have to make sure that our hearts are right and that we are ready to receive what God wants to do for us. In the realm of friendship, relationship in general, you have to be ready to receive it. Because one thing I know is I don't want to fumble the blessing. I don't want to fumble the blessing or the bag, okay? And if God is giving me something, I want to make sure that I'm ready. So that way I don't mess it up. So that way Tiara doesn't get in the way of her own blessing. Because that's a real thing. We can self-sabotage real bad. And if you're like me, baby, you self-sabotage real bad. So make sure that when you're choosing friends, you consult God you make sure that you're ready and in position to receive what God is trying to do for you, and that you do the self-work on yourself, so that way you aren't running away what God is trying to give you. That way you aren't allowing the blessing to just leave because you weren't a good steward over it. Because truth be told, we steward over our friendships and our relationships every day. Like, if you are a friend to somebody, you are a steward over that friendship, over that person. And that's a weight. It's a hefty weight to carry. So make sure that you have, the capacity to handle people, and that the people that you are connecting with or, wanting to connect with have the capacity to handle you in your totality, in your humanity, in your weakness, in your falling short, in your high moments on the mountaintop. Make sure that they have the capacity to deal with you in your totality as a whole, not pieces of you, not a fraction of you. Because people who are purposed for life, people who are meant to be life partners, and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, friendships too. You have to make sure that they have the capacity to handle you in your totality. It's important. It's important because friendships, they can make or break you too. Any relationship can make or break you, especially when people have pulled on heartstrings. So make sure that you are using discernment, seeking God, and doing the self-work. I love y'all. I hope that I said something of substance. Don't forget, y'all, to hit the subscribe button, please, y'all. I know that I have been gone for a while. I know that Tierra was doing some self-work on herself, but I'm back. I will be posting weekly. So I'm out, y'all. Don't forget to inhale and exhale with your girl T. This is Push to Purpose. This is my YouTube channel, and it will soon be my podcast. I love you guys. Again, y'all, hit the subscribe button so that way you do not miss any notifications from me. Share it with somebody if it resonated with you. Don't forget to like and don't forget to comment. I'm out. Peace. Woo.